my friends. Welcome. This is Wendy with Love and Stampin'. I am so excited you're here with me today. We are going to be using limited supplies. I've got two sets of in colors here. In colors are colors that Stampin' Up! Puts out every couple of years, and they're for sale for a limited time. So these are only available 2 years. So we're going to use the Kite Delight and For the Record stamp sets. These stamp sets are so cute and they're great for simple, fun, handmade greeting cards. I'm also going to use very basic supplies. I'm using 3 3/4 inch by 5 inch basic white cardstock and 4 1/4 by 11 inch for my card base. And then I'm also using 4 by 5 1/4 basic white thick cardstock and 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 card bases. So you'll see here, we're going to create a card similar to this, but a little bit more simple. We're going to take this card and use the exact same concept to make a card that's a little bit more simple. And I'm doing this so that you can see how easy this pattern is to do in the background. I'm just taking the kite and I am flipping it upside down and right side up, back and forth, to create a pattern, and you can see it almost makes like this little wavy pattern. It's really cool. So when you have stamp sets that have images, try to think about how you could use them in different ways. For example, on this card, I'm using this stamp set to create a pattern that will create a really cool background. Now, not all stamp sets lend themselves to this, but if you have one that you have in your stash, try it because you never know. Kite Delight is the perfect stamp set for creating fun and interesting backgrounds and making really simple, easy birthday cards. I love this stamp set. When it came out and was offered in the January through June mini catalog for this year, I was super excited about it. So here I'm just finishing off the pattern, and we're going to keep this card even more simple than the other one you saw. The one I showed you is kind of a stepped up version of this card. The great thing about the Stampin' Up! In colors is that they coordinate, right? So I can do, as you saw on the other card, I can do all 5 colors and they coordinate together beautifully. Or I can just use a couple of the colors and they coordinate beautifully. So that's just kind of a perk with Stampin' Up's color coordination. I just love it. They also offer an embellishment for each of the in colors. So you can see on to the right side of my screen there in the corner, I've got these square embellishments that coordinate with this set of in colors. This is the 2020-2022 in colors. So these are going to go away soon, the ones I'm using here today. They are only going to be available until the new catalog launches in May. And I'm telling you about this really early because what happens is Stampin' Up! Will put them on a retiring list in April and they will sell out. The refills for them will sell out. The embellishments will go away. Even the ink pads will sell out. So if you want any of these colors that you see on the screen here today that I've used, you want to make sure to purchase them. You can purchase the entire set of in colors for $33.75 US, and they are available right now. I checked before I did this video, so it's a great time to buy them if you don't already have them. Like I said, they are limited, but the great thing is if you purchase the ink pads and you purchase the ink refills, you're set. You won't ever need to purchase them again because I still have ink pads from whenever they released the brand new ones. So we switched from like a cloth pad to a foam pad some years ago, and I got all new ink pads then. Gosh, I can't even remember how long ago that was now. Probably 6 years or so. Anyway, I have all of my originals except for a couple that I had to replace for various reasons. Okay, here's the second card, or I guess this is technically the third card that I made. This is the stepped up version. and we're going to make a little bit simpler version. All I'm going to do with this is I'm going to change out the colors of the clouds. I'm using just Jade instead of Misty Moonlight. I used Misty Moonlight for the clouds in the other video. In the other card. And so here I'm going to stamp my kite first because I know that I want to build my clouds in around it. So I'm going to stamp my kite in Magenta Madness. I just love this color. I'm going to be sad when this color goes away. And then the tail of the kite I'm going to add. And then we can build in our clouds around the edges of the kite. And now this is just a simple 1-layer card, but it is perfect for a birthday card. So you could add a happy birthday sentiment or any other sentiment that you choose. There's also a cute little sunshine in this Kite Delight stamp set. So I'm going to add that using the Bumblebee ink. And as you can see, like I said, here's 5 ink pad colors that I'm using, and they're coordinating beautifully. Now, while I'm finishing this up, I make a little boo-boo right here, and I end up stamping off on accident on the sun. And so I end up re-stamping the sun on a scrap piece of cardstock and hand cutting a sun out to go over the top, which ends up looking really cute. But this is how you can fix a little mistake like this. It's really easy. Luckily for me, this isn't a complicated image to hand cut out. So I just went around the edges and hand cut this out, add a dimensional to the back, and pop it up. Now, if you're new around here, you might not know that on Saturdays, I usually do some sort of story time along with my card making, where I share something that's either going on in my life or something I know about or whatever. And last week, I shared a story that was a little bit edgy, and a lot of you did not care for it. So besides the fact that you didn't care for it, some things happened with the story, and I no longer feel comfortable sharing any more about the story. I actually took that video and made it unlisted. So the only way you can watch that video now is to go to my blog. I didn't want to delete the video because the cards are awesome, but I did remove it from my YouTube so that you have to actually go to my blog to watch it. All is to say that everybody's safe, but the situation got physical, and I just don't feel like it is good to share the situation anymore, mostly because it's still ongoing. At the time of sharing the story, I thought that it was ended, and unfortunately, the person who involved in this, it was a domestic violence situation, and so the person involved in this has continued to stay with the abuser. So until she's free and clear of that situation, I will not share the story. However, I will probably eventually share the story, and the reason is because there are a lot of people that are victims of domestic violence. And at some point in time, we have to acknowledge that, sharing those stories helps others sometimes escape those same situations. So we're going to leave it at that, and I'm going to share a different story with you. As I finish up this card, we're going to kind of bounce back and forth between the cards and stories, and I'm going to tell you what's been going on with our shower. So I haven't talked about this because, frankly, it's been almost too hard for me to discuss because of how upset I've been about it. But some of you who have followed me for a long time know that we had a remodel done in our house. And we remodeled a large portion of our house so that we could have 2 bathrooms, because we've lived here for 15 years and we always had 1 bathroom. And so we converted a bedroom and cut it in half basically and turned it into 2 bathrooms, and it gave us a master bedroom, master closet, and a master bathroom. In August of last year, after all of this was done, I stepped out of the shower and I noticed there was water under the flooring. I'm going to make this quick because I could draw it out really long. But bottom line is, the people came out, they replaced the flooring. They said that they didn't do caulking in a certain area. Okay, so here's your basic and your stepped up. Aren't they both so cute? I just love them. All right, now we're moving on to the For the Record, and we are using the other set of ink colors. Now, these ink colors will be available. These are the 2021-2023 ink colors. So these guys are going to be available for a good long while, till next year. So you don't have to rush to pick these up, but usually Stampin' Up! Changes the embellishments. So here you can see I forgot to take my black mat out of my Stamparatus tool. So I removed that. When you use red rubber cling stamps, you don't need that black mat in there. So the little embellishments I'm using today, the little rhinestones, jewels, those will probably be discontinued with the new catalog in May, and they will release a new type of ink color gadget to go with these ink colors. That's usually what they do. Don't hold me to that. So back to the shower. So basically, it leaked. They came and replaced flooring. They said it was because they forgot to do caulking around where they did the curbless portion. Fine. Everything's good. I'm relieved. November rolls around. I step out of the shower. I'm like, I feel water, and I look, and there's water under the flooring. So I call the people. I tell them what's going on. They come out. They were like, yeah, this is a problem. They were nice about it. And they were like, well, let's put in a curb. Now, mind you, I didn't want a curb. I wanted a curbless shower. But they were like, it's got to have something to do with not having a curb. Let's add a curb. Okay, we add a curb. So December rolls around. Can't even make this up. I step out of the shower. There's water. And I'm like, you've got to be actually kidding me right now. Actually is not the word I used, though. Just saying. I lost Jesus for a hot minute about that situation. So I call them, and at this point, the owner of the company has had a major back surgery, the one who did all the work, and is no longer doing construction. So he refers me to somebody who will do the job, they will pay for it, that they're going to call me. This person is going to call me. Okay, fine. So here, real quick, back to the card, you can see I stamped in 3 different colors those records. And then now I'm going to take this strip here and I'm going to stamp it off once and then stamp it again. And this is going to be for my sentiment strip. I just wanted the sentiment strip to have a little something behind the sentiment rather than it just being plain white. But I'm trying to keep these cards really simple and only use plain white cardstock to create them because I want you to see how easy it is to make handmade cards really easily with just a few ink colors and white cardstock. I do have a video that's going to come out soon about different cardstocks, so stay tuned for that because there is some really good info in that. So here you can see now I just have this really light little fresh freesia background, and then I'm going to stamp For the Record over it in Memento Tuxedo Black ink. So we contact the guy, or the guy never contacts us. The people that they were going to refer to us never calls. So we have a really good friend who we really wanted to do our remodel in the first place. However, he was really busy at the time that we wanted to do it, and he just didn't have the time to dedicate to our job. So we ended up going with this other company. Lesson learned. So I tell the people, the original people who did the work, look, I want my friend Bill to do this. I've had it. Like, the guy you told me to call never called. And I want this fixed. Like, situation is bad. So Bill comes, they say, yes, we will pay for it. We'll have Bill do it. Bill comes, Bill starts pulling things out and testing the water lines and everything. And sure enough, we have a leak. So we don't know if they didn't install the shower pan correctly, if the shower pan broke at some point or like had a hairline crack and caused water to leak. The bottom line is Bill had to tear out the entire floor of the shower and all the tiles on the bottom row of the shower. And we chose to replace the flooring with tile versus the laminate flooring that was in there prior. So, in the midst of all of that, we noticed in the front shower that there's a huge crack in the grout in the curb. So that has to be dug out and the grout has to be redone. If I had it to do all over, guys, I would do like fiberglass shower enclosures and call it a day. I was trying to go fancy and pretty and make it look nice, and not that a shower enclosure doesn't look nice. It does too. And obviously it's way less work. So I don't have it to do over. This is what it is. And if you have tips for me on cleaning shower grout and stuff like that, I had no idea what I was getting into, is what it boils down to. So drop me comments below if you have tips for cleaning shower grout. So that's my story about the shower. We are in the middle of it being repaired. The flooring is in, the grout is in, Monday we're waiting on like all the finishing stuff, and then I have to get in there and clean it because it's filthy from all the dust and dirt and all that. So for the last several weeks, we've lived with just having the one shower again, which is fine. We know what it's like to have one bathroom. But that being said, I'm ready for my shower that I paid for 6 months ago to be usable. I'm over it at this point. Okay, so we're going to use these little rhinestones to just pop them in the middle of these records, in the middle of the hearts, because I think it's so stinking cute. So the soft succulent, the fresh frigette, obviously all of the rhinestones match up to the colors. So that's what we're doing. These are actually called 2021, 2022, 23 in color jewels if you want to find them. But I have linked to my blog post below this video, and in that blog post is a supply list of all of the products I used. There is no project sheet today because frankly these cards are so simple. I felt like they didn't need a project sheet. They're just very, very, very simple cuts. So for this card, I needed the Stamparatus tool. This tool is so great for so many things. But here I'm going to do the hinge step technique. So I'm just going to pull the plate out of its hinges, clean my stamp off, and I'm going to go with my next ink color, ink it up, stamp it down, and I'm stamping a couple of times, as you can see, because I want that to be a really crisp, nice image. So I'm going to do this, like, repeat the exact same thing again, pick my plate up out of the hinge lock, step it down one more hinge, and repeat. And I'm doing that until I completely get to the bottom. While I'm doing this, I'll explain how I finished this card because I didn't film this whole card start to finish. What I did is this is kind of my wow card. It's still really simple, but I was trying to keep all of the cards I showed you today incredibly simple. But the very last step of this card is a little more advanced, and you wouldn't have to make it advanced. Basically, I stamped the record over and over in black ink, and then I heat embossed it in clear embossing powder. Now, if you're brand new to stamping and you don't even know what embossing is, I have a ton of videos on my channel about that have heat embossing in them. But you could do exactly the same thing by just simply stamping in one of these colors, like this evening evergreen, this dark evening evergreen. You could stamp in that and make a record the exact same way and just not heat emboss it and then add it to the card. So I just wanted to show you this part of the card because I wanted you to see how to do the hinge step stamping. And there's the two for the record cards. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. If you have any shopping needs for Stampin' Up! Products, you can shop with me at shoploveandstampin.com. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you visit me again. I would love it if you subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.